Welcome to KROSS BARZ, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspectives. I am your co-host, Big O, and I have with me...
Hey, Tanae is back in the building one more time with none other than the beautiful Miss Ajai Sanders, the Def Comedy Jam legend, the different world icon, the stand-up girl that's traveling the world. Give it up for Ajai, y'all. Give it up for Miss Ajai. You know it. Hey, bars, let's go.
All right, now. All right. First question. Where are you originally from?
Dallas. Born and raised in Dallas, Texas. I'm a Texas girl. Yeah. A lot of people think I'm from New Jersey because IMDb got it wrong.
Oh, okay.
He also says that I was born on April 19th, or April 23rd, or 24th or something, and I'm not. I'm born in October. I'm a Libra. So I don't know where they got that information from.
Oh my God, they was big wrong.
But
thanks for clearing that up. Absolutely.
But my grandmother lived in Newark, New Jersey, and she also lived in Toms River and on the East Coast. But I grew up in Dallas my whole life.
Whole life. Mm-hmm. You was born in Dallas too? Because I was gonna claim you.
Born and raised.
I was gonna claim you. I was gonna claim the hell out of you. I'm from Jersey, so I was like, yeah, that's what we got. You know what I'm saying?
Went to school with her.
Yeah, but and the crazy part is, I was just like, damn, that's what they got. Because I'm just being honest. Like Trenton, I just know a few people. That's why I was like, yo, do you know JC? Because around that time he was around there, and Nia Long and some more, they right over there. And I was like,
yeah.
And now you telling me you from Dallas? That's my train thought of. Right.
Yeah, I'm a Southern Belle, so that's where
you raised me. All right. Okay, so now tell me. So when you were in school, did you always want to be an actress, or did you want to do something else and pursue a different
I originally wanted to be. I always knew I wanted to be an entertainer. I didn't know that I wanted to act until I was about like 19.
Okay.
Because I just went to audit this acting class with a friend of mine. I just went with her because she just asked me to kind of hang out. But I really wanted to be I wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be a professional dancer. That was my goal, was to be like, and remember, there was a time, for those that don't know, that there was a time that music used to also pair up music videos with the hit songs that came. So I wanted to be a dancer in music videos, and I thought that was a good living. And I thought that, and so what happened was I ended up getting injured, and I wasn't able to dance anymore. But in between that time is when I started to study theater, and I got kind of hooked. I got bit by the acting bug when I went to that class with my friend, and so I just started doing plays and doing theater in like 1987, 88. And then around 1989, 90 is when I kind of started to tip my toe in the comedy world, dip my toe in those waters. And so that kind of stuck. And so I thought, oh, okay, so I'm gonna start slinging these jokes.
Yeah, that's what I seen. That's what I was like, yeah, that's what I seen.
After that is when Def Comedy Jam it was all very weird because around the same, so okay, let me just go back. So 89, 90 is when I was kind of doing stand-up, and then I learned really quickly from people like Robin Harris and Damon Wayans and Tommy Davidson, and so those cats was coming to this one club in LA, and so I became like the opening act of that club, because back then it was like the Cotton Club on steroids. Like everybody in Black Hollywood showed up to that comedy club on Thursday nights. Even Spike Lee, when you brought him up, he used to fly in on Thursdays just to watch all of us perform. So anyway, so I learned really quickly to do stand-up. And then shortly after that is when Def Comedy Jam auditioned us and asked us to be on the show. And so then at that same time is when I auditioned for A Different World. And I had just finished. So when I taped Def Jam, the same week I'd also finished filming my first episode of A Different World. So it all kind of collided at the same time. And then it all kind of debuted at the same time. So people really didn't know me as a stand-up comedian because I was also acting
Acting at
at the
time.
same time. So yeah, that's kind of how that all.
Okay, you jumped so clean over some stuff. Okay, and I was like, good. All right, now, did you live in one of those big, nice houses in Dallas? Because y'all got some beautiful houses out there.
No, I lived in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood, but
Okay.
it was but there were lots of different cultures that lived in that hood, but it was predominantly, white-ish. But I didn't live in a big house. My, just cute little 2-story townhouse that my mom, raised me in. It was very modest.
Okay.
Was it just you? Did you have siblings, or were you the only child?
So I am my mother's only child, but my father has two, my brother and sister. So
older or younger?
They're younger, 10 and 11 years younger than I am. And so we're all very close. And I got 4 nephews and 1 niece. And yeah, my sister's living her dream as a mother and a wife. My brother's living his dream doing what he do, and so we all turned out okay.
Okay. Well, tell me, what type of auntie are you? Are you the stuck-up auntie, the cool auntie?
No, I am that cool, fun auntie. That's my role. That's my assignment.
I love it.
Yes, honey. They
That's
run.
the best auntie.
They're excited when they see me. As a matter of fact, my niece, when she knows I'm coming over, my niece puts on her favorite outfit and she'll sit out on the lawn and wait for me.
Oh, I love that. I got to disclaimer. I just had a brand new nephew last night, y'all. He's fresh. He's brand new. My sister just had a baby. He came out. He was 8 pounds 20 ounces. I want to shout out to Xander, the brand new baby boy in the family.
Hey, Xander.
Yeah, I'm the cool auntie too. Yeah, he was a big old boy.
Oh no, but I am that auntie though. Like I'm at the football games. I'm the loudest one, wearing the t-shirts.
Yes, representing. Yeah.
Yep.
Love it.
Okay, now let's ask the hard question. Are you a Dallas Cowboy fan?
Oh
hell no.
This is how I'm gonna answer this question because I hear this all the time when I'm overseas. So I am a fan of the 70s Cowboys that I grew up watching. So I'm a fan of the Tom Landry era and the Emmitt Smith and the Troy Aikman era.
Okay?
So that's my answer.
She said, I'm a fan of the 70s. They're calling out people in the 90s.
That's what I'm saying. The 70s era and the 90s era, I'm a fan of.
I'm a fan of Super Bowls. I got you. I'm the fan of the Super Bowls. Your mother don't got no rings. I got you.
Listen, at this point, I'm a fan of the Super Bowl halftime shows. That's really
pretty much.
No, I'm not really into. I grew up watching sports. I grew up playing sports. The only sport that I really, really love watching anymore is tennis.
Tennis? Okay.
Yeah. That's the only sport I really will sit down and watch. I'm not really into the NBA like I used to be. I don't know why. I'm not really into football like I used to be. And I can't really explain why. I guess my life has just evolved in a different way. But I love watching tennis. I've always loved watching tennis too, because I grew up watching Arthur Ashe and all, Chrissy Everett and, McEnroe and all those guys. So I've always loved it. But yeah, I don't really watch it like that no more.
But did you play sports? Were you an athlete?
Yeah, I played basketball when I was in high school, and I played tennis a little bit. I wasn't really good at tennis, but I loved it. So. Yeah, when that ball came at me, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start acting."
Yeah, because I don't see basketball at all. Like
I was good.
No,
I was good.
Don't hate.
I was a starter.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
I averaged like 60 points a game, but I was in high school though. I got a little. I had
that'll work. And high school start, that'll work. I give it to it.
I mean, it was on JV, but that don't. I mean, that. Probably gonna split hairs.
No. In the 80s, when you was in high school, them girls out of Texas, Louisiana Tech, no, they ain't look like you. No. Basketball girls was different in the 80s, especially in Texas.
Yeah.
Cheryl Swoop. We got high school pictures. She was from Texas. She from Houston.
Yeah, but she wasn't. She didn't go to my high school though.
I know. I know she was Miss Texas.
Yeah.
But you don't fit the traditional one, which is a good thing. But they blossom into beautiful women in the future. So y'all age like fine wine. All right. So we gonna make sure that nobody take that offensive, because
Yes.
I was looking at you when I was younger. So
Everybody's so damn sensitive these days. You gotta
yeah, I know.
You
gotta
say
like put a
disclaimers all
preamble and
over the place.
good Lord, you gotta
Absolutely.
allegedly. It's like, come on, really?
So now your
Okay.
mom raising you. Now you was all county JV. I don't even think they have that. She was second team all state, all JV. And then okay, did mom push college? And I know you said when you was 19 you went to a class, but were you going to Prairie View? Because you know you was gonna be out there dancing. You ain't go to wait.
No.
Was
When
it
I
Texas
was
Southern?
when I was growing up, my mom and dad already had an agreement that once I graduated high school in Dallas, I was going to move directly with him, and I was going to spend my college years living with my dad in LA because I always knew I wanted to be a performer.
Oh, that's how you
So
got
my
your record.
goal, I really wanted to come to LA and go to UCLA. And my dad, because my dad's house that we all lived in was in Century City, which is right down the street from Westwood.
Okay.
So
Yeah, LA,
that was my goal.
yeah.
But did they say your father didn't your father box, or was he into boxing or something like that? I did read that, like Golden Gloves or something like that.
Yeah, you did do some homework. So my father's name is Cassius Green, and he called his nickname was War Baby because guess he was born during the war, but he caused a war every time he got into the ring. He was a Golden Glove welterweight prize fighter, and he was and then he became, when he retired from boxing, he became a trainer. So he started working with people like Michael Nunn.
Oh,
yeah, that's
and I can't think of his last name. Starts with a T. But anyway, he worked with Mike Tyson for a while. He worked with Michael Nunn and who else?
Corey Spinks. What is it?
No, it was I
Pernell
want to say
Whitaker? No,
I want
that's
to.
East Coast.
He did work. Really good friends with Pernell Whitaker. So I kind of grew up in that.
Mhm.
So and what's really interesting is that he was really good friends with Muhammad Ali. And so Muhammad Ali lived in the Rossmore district, and so we would always go to his house on Sundays. And so I remember being like, I don't even know how, a little girl.
Yeah.
So my Ali would walk into the room when we walk in, and I just remember him being this really, really giant, like this big giant guy,
right.
He would lean down and he would pick me up and put me over his head, and he would tickle me, and like he was just a beautiful man. And so then one of his daughters ended up becoming a stand-up comedian, also May. So so we would see each other at the comedy clubs back in the day. So we look at each other like, girl, ain't that crazy? She'd be like, "How your daddy?" I'm like, "He good." I'm like, "How your daddy? He good?" So that was our little thing.
Dope.
So my father also ended up working with Sugar Shane Mosley. He became a cut man when he stopped training.
Okay.
So he would take me on. We would go to the training camps, like Eddie Mustafa Muhammad's training camp. I remember very vividly. And I'd watch him work out, and he'd make the kids work out with them. That wasn't fun in the desert, but whatever. But and then after that, he became a cut man, and so he got his credentials, and so then he worked with Sugar Shane Mosley in his corner, and then he also worked with Layla Ali, and he worked with Layla Ali all the way up until he retired.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question, because when you said that, I was like, which one of the daughters of Ali? Because he has several daughters. I was like, which one are you friends with? Because you have them from different age range. Because Layla would be a little younger than you.
Right. It was May.
May. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, okay, cool. Now my next part is Then my next point, where you actually started acting, you just went into that already. You told us like it was a whirlwind per se. You started getting gigs and roles and things of that nature. Did you find that it was difficult for you to capture any of these roles because you were brown skin and a woman?
So I found it more difficult to land jobs back then because I didn't look like Halle Berry. It was a type of Black woman that they would
Very light, fair, correct.
And so that was the frustration more so than just being Black in the industry. I think that, when your own people are like, nah, you know what I mean? Then you'd be like, really? And so here's a real trip. I didn't even know I was brown skinned until I got into Hollywood.
Right. Say that.
No, I grew up in Texas, so they call me red.
So.
You know what I mean?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, I'm brown. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
You know several guys named Blue.
Yeah, they categorize the category.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Lord. Yes.
But no, I mean, I didn't really listen. Around the time that I started was a really good time because it was right around the time of the Black comedy explosion, right? And so there were so many opportunities for us back then in terms of showcasing. If you're funny, then then they're gonna bring you in, and if you're funny and attractive and young, then you have other opportunities. So I got a chance to also do commercials. I got a chance to also go on the road with Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence, and and all those guys would bring me on and then they all had shows, and so they're like, okay, who can be the funny girlfriend? Who can be the cute, young, funny girlfriend who got comedic timing? That would be me. So I was really, really blessed to have been able to, to land those roles on those shows that have become iconic and classic television shows of the 90s. Right. So yeah.
So now, go ahead, Jay.
No, I'm just saying, how do you handle that? Like when you're talking about rejection and you're getting roles or people saying, hey, what about this? And you don't get it. Like, how do you overcome that and continue to write and continue to perform, knowing that somebody else got the part that you didn't, or you thought you should have got it and they didn't? Like, how do you handle that?
A lot of weed and alcohol.
Bars. That's my dog. I'm gonna say it. Bars. No, seriously, because that has to be a lot. People see you here and you telling people you're thinking this and they're promising you things, and you see people rise and you like here and you like, look, I'm funnier than that, or I'm better than that, and it's still happening now, I'm sure. So but so how did that not lead you, really, like the weed and all? How did that not lead you to like?
So the real,
or did it?
So the real answer to that is this. And the real answer is it did wear on me after a while. And it did chip away at my self-esteem and my self-worth and made me question everything, because there was a time where I was always it would always come down to me and somebody else. Me and Regina King for Jerry Maguire, for example. Right. And also I didn't even know that this was possible, but when something was written for me, I still didn't get it.
Yes.
But how is that?
Talk about that.
That was when Jamie Foxx had written Fancy for me specifically. And so what happened was I didn't understand the politics of the game. Listen, I had already had my Mercedes picked out. I was already ready to buy a house in Hollywood Hill. Like it was set. Like he had the deal. He was like, I'm bringing you in, no problem. All you got to do is just, we could just audition together. They just see what how you do. And it was going to be great. And so what I didn't understand was how politics work. So what happened was Garcelle had already had a deal in place with Warner Brothers. And so Warner Brothers kept like making me jump through all these hoops. Like, well, she's not pretty enough. Well, she's not sexy enough. Well, and those things, I was like, okay, I can make those adjustments. So then when they said, I don't really see the chemistry between her and Jamie, I was like, now I know you tripping, because me and Jamie are like brother and sister. Like I know how to be,
right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we from the same city. We know we have the same like inclination. I'm the one that helped him write Wanda.
Oh wow,
that's crazy.
So we gelled comedically. So when they said that, I was like, what? So it was like, so they were like, no, we want to put Garcelle in. So she was literally placed in that role. And so that was the moment for me that I just said, you know what? I'm out. Right. I'm good. Because it doesn't matter. It's not about talent no more. That's when I realized it's not about talent. And
It's a
so,
business.
so I
It's
did,
business. That's it.
I did take my little toys and I picked them up and I went home and I went on a vacation for like 10 years.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
I
wow.
didn't do stand up. I moved out of LA and I moved where I live now, south of LA.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want my life to be defined by what role I get or what I don't get.
Okay.
And I had to ask myself, well, who am I even when I'm not working? You know,
Right.
and do I like who I am when I'm not
When
working?
you're not working.
And so I had to do a
Mm.
lot of internal work. And so I think that all of that rejection actually helped me become who I am because to be honest, I didn't really know who I was back then. I was just, I was just a fresh out of being a teenager and I got thrust
Mm-hmm.
into this game and then the work came and I'm making all this money and I'm traveling all over the world. I don't know who the F I can I cuss on here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. If
I don't know who
you,
the F I am. So I'm just like, all right. So that gave me an opportunity to just sit down, chill, get to know myself, make some real friends, and find
right.
and find out what my real value system is,
Right.
and then with that came a lot of peace of mind. And I still made some mistakes along the way. Like I said, I made a
For
couple
sure.
mistakes. I got married twice,
I
and
Oh.
thought you only got married once.
I got married
Oh, you
twice.
count you count the
Don't
one when we
listen
were
to
together first?
IMDb.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know.
no, I don't know that one. I don't know
So
about that.
yeah,
I keep it
so I
secret.
really, so I got a chance to figure out who I am and all that. So
Okay.
and so now that things are being exposed the way they have been lately, now people can really see the things that God has protected me from. If you
Yes,
catch
Right.
the
because I
drift.
want to talk
Bars,
about that.
bars,
Okay,
bars.
so now let's talk about it. Okay,
Okay.
Okay.
so now a comedian or several comedians have went on this popular podcast with Shannon
Yes.
Sharp and has been revealing some things, and many people start faulting the Shannon Sharp for being messy, and I say,
And I
well,
don't understand that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
because I'm like, if you came on here and said, I want to the president, and I'm like, ma'am, you can say what you want, but are
It's
you ready
gonna
for what comes
backfire
with
on
it?
you.
Yeah,
Right, right,
but
right.
how do you feel about um comedians talk about things that always were kind of regarded where you guys had a separate club where you talk about yourself. Y'all know who the joke stealers are, the people who really could perform, some people that you see live and they kill and you don't want to go
Right,
behind, some people
right,
who are very good on TV, but on
right,
live comedic stages, they can't do it. You guys know the
right.
real tea. And how do you feel that some of these things are coming in light and things that you're not really supposed to talk about in the comedic world because you guys are a tight-knit family per se?
I don't like the way you phrase that question
What do you mean?
Mm.
because you're saying it as if it's a big secret. Like we like Kat has like exposed like a secret, and it's never really been a secret. It's just
Mm.
something that was just known around amongst us, but it wasn't like something that we kept in the vault.
Like the boys club. Don't say
Yeah, it
anything.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It really wasn't. I mean, it was just something that we just knew. We didn't think anybody else cared. That's why it really wasn't.
Mm.
That's why it wasn't shared amongst anybody else. We didn't think anybody. We just was like, oh yeah, there's blah blah blah. He's a joke thief. Guard your jokes. You know what I mean? Um,
No, but the reason I said
That's
that
good.
because we were on, and when I say we, the collective audiences, we didn't have any idea of some of these things in the bike,
right. So I
even
don't think
things of
there's a
comedy.
problem. So to answer your question, I don't think that that's a pro. I don't think that that he was wrong for doing that.
Okay.
I don't see anything wrong with just shit. Like
Gotcha.
the way that Cat phrases stuff is hilarious anyway. Like I think that was really the most impactful part of his interview is just the way he said it. Because I'm telling you, when I heard that he was doing an interview, so many people were talking about it that I was like, okay, let me just see what he's talking about. So I'm in the kitchen and I got the TVs on. I'm trying to make my dinner and I'm like, oh, wait, oh shit, wait, oh, let me go sit down. I didn't realize he
You
was
got
gonna come that
you had to
hard.
tune in.
And
Yeah.
so I think the shock value of it was the most impactful part about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so and I've always respected Cat, and I've always thought that he was like hella smart and just really super intelligent and very intuitive. And so I respect his work based on the fact of his level of intelligence. So that's why I was interested in seeing it. So I've seen other people go on there. I haven't watched it yet because they just not interesting like that to me. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the fact that he shared the way he shared his personal experience. Like he shared his experience with Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley and yada, you know what I mean? So I think that is what is missed on most people. That was his personal experience. Now, is it known amongst us? Absolutely. And we've always known it. And we've always just been aware. Somebody just asked me about this project that I'm getting ready to do. And somebody said, hey, why don't you he asked me if I would consider one of, a top comedian. I said, nah, I'm not ever asking them to do anything with me because they're not interested in helping anybody else. They're not interested in being, they're not. So I think that's where the problem is just, and the thing that I'm glad that is no longer a secret, because it's too bad that people in that position have not pulled up more talented people. You know what I'm saying? And now we know why.
Yes. Okay.
You saying so that's what I'm glad about is like now we know why, because it's like I get sick and tired of people going, wow, don't you know so and so and so and so? Why don't you ask it?
Yeah, but
First of all, I don't ask nobody for
nothing. Right.
Second of all,
strings attached to that. Yeah.
That's not when you are placed in a certain position, it's understood that that is the position that you can only hold.
Correct.
Because I pitched an idea to another king of comedy, and it was so dope. I'm like, bro, this would be great. I'll sell it to you. I don't even want to be a part of it. I think this will be great for you. I'll co-produce it and I can be a consultant on it, but I don't want to be in it. I don't need to be in it. I think this would be great for you. And he was like, AJ, that is really, really good. He goes, but they would never let me do it.
I think I know who you're talking
because
about.
it was intelligent, it was uplifting, it was edifying to the Black community. And he said they would never let me do it. And I kept thinking for a minute, I was like, who's they? I said, they work for you, right? That's your managers and your agents. He was like, they would never let me do it.
Wow.
And I said, oh, they.
Yes. So now, speaking of some of these things, because when you were talking about the early 90s where you had an explosion of different venues. So you had Comic View, you also had Def Comedy Jam, you had different late night shows. Yeah, Arsenio was also still a conduit. And then you had different comedy clubs starting, black ones opening up, around the country. So now you can eat. Now for
everybody can eat.
So for a person like yourself, like many comedians, the industry can't blackball you, because if you can go to a city, you can always get a bag. I've heard that. They can't stop your bag. If you talented on the stage, you can always eat. Now, what was the difference from saying, you know what, I'm just going to go around and just go get a whole bunch of bags until, I figure out what I'm doing? And also your writing. Because when you say you help Jamie Foxx, and I'm like, well, if you have that creative talent, why don't you just say, you know what, I'm gonna stay back here and just write for a bunch of people, as some comedians have writing teams.
So that was a lot.
Okay. All right, I'll shorten it.
No, I'm just saying there was a lot into one thing. So the first point is that I did do that. I did travel all over the country. And I did, was able to make a really good living that way. And I've always known that was another gear I can shift into when the acting thing was not, doing what I wanted it to do. You know what I'm saying? So that was always a positive option. And so the next thing about the writing part is that I've offered that with certain comedians and they're not interested.
Why?
A lot of Black folk don't like to work together. Like, so when you see people like Kevin Hart and his Red Cup Boys, that's an anomaly.
Really?
Unfortunately, yeah. So I've always offered to collaborate with people, male and female. And I've also had the opportunities at certain points in my career where I've taken, women on tour, like female comedians on tour, and they just wanted to, make their money and go. They didn't really, my goal was to sort of be helpful, because my whole thing is this: I ain't got to be the most talented, I ain't got to be the most beautiful, I don't have,
Right.
but if I have a platform, I want to bring everybody with me.
Got you.
And what I learned the hard way is everybody ain't ready to get on that bus with you.
I
And
got
so
you.
the other half of the people don't want to get on the bus because of their nature, because they're jealous, or because they're resentful or whatever. And I'm like, hey, I'm not the funniest in this group, but since I got the name, come along with me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
let's go make this money and kick these doors down,
Yes.
because a lot of
Yes.
comedy clubs and a lot of especially the ones in LA, they weren't putting a lot of us up, a lot of women up. So I would always create variety shows so that I can put women to work. And it was always female dominated, because if we work in a male dominated environment, so I would always like to flip the script where I would have like 4 women and 1 guy, as opposed
Right.
to 4 men,
More than one
so,
girl.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Right.
So I was like, just to flip it up and just to make it interesting. And so back then, a lot of those women weren't interested in collaborating. They weren't interested in working together with me, and
Mm.
I know y'all just met me, but I'm pretty dope.
You fine.
I'm
We
pretty
know that.
dope.
We
Like,
know
I'm
that.
not.
That's why
Listen,
we
you
wanted you
fine.
on
You
the
fine
podcast,
alone.
because that's
You fine.
no, but that's why
So
we
I'm not
wanted
hard.
you.
So I say that to say I'm not hard to get along with.
Ain't
You
hard
know
to
what I
look at
mean?
either.
Right.
I pay very
Right.
fairly. And so come on, y'all, let's go get this money and let's go make these things. And they were just, I mean, I'm talking some of the people that you see now, like
Yeah, I know.
Earl Underwood and
Yeah.
Monique. And, I've always been
Right.
interested in bringing, but Samora has never really wanted to work with other women, which I respect. And so that's what has unfortunately kept us all very fractured, is that no one
Mm-hmm.
wants to really, really come together and do and make some real noise, and so that's just kind of the way it was. And so for me, I was like, okay, well, you know what? Y'all, good luck.
Yeah.
Do you.
Right.
I'm gonna go do
Right.
me. And so and then when you to the point of writing, the writing business is almost the same as the acting business.
Wow.
You
Okay,
know,
we get it now.
when you write and pitch something, it's very political. It's a very political environment as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, if people don't really like you, or you ain't really trying to get down the way they want you to get down or whatever,
Yeah.
that might stand in the way of things as well.
Okay.
So it's just a matter of, just picking the right spots and developing the right relationships. And I've been very blessed. Like I said, I have this
Mm-hmm.
idea that I'm getting ready to pitch to somebody that I have a good relationship with and stuff, but it's taken a long time uh, for him to get into that position where he can just green
Help
light
you.
stuff.
Right.
You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Because he
Yes.
got to answer to other people. So it's just all very nefarious, and
Gotcha.
it's all very crazy.
Okay. Now, I tried not to put anyone against each other, but I have 2 women that I want your opinion on, your honest opinion, because
Okay.
one woman, I think some of your story mirrors hers.
Okay.
From her living out of her car, just making it, and then she had some ups and some downs. What do you feel about Tiffany Haddish?
When I met her, she was very nice.
Okay.
And the first thing I said to her was, "I'm very proud of you." And this was like this may have been in early 2020, so it was right before she had really become a household name yet.
Okay.
And uh, I so what do you okay? So let so at so
Your
so
stories, some of
what do
your
you
story
what
is similar, so that's why I was asking. What do you think about her ascendance and also some of the things she's going through? So her name is a little tarnished, and now she's building back up right now. I don't
what
want
is
to
she
talk about with some of the stuff with the
what is she
child
going
and
through? Oh, so I kind of know her story in terms of
Yeah,
like
that's why I was like, I don't want her stuff, but
her
yes.
little come up. I do know her come up story a little bit. I can't really place the timeline though,
Okay.
because um, so when I don't remember her coming up. So I could have been
Gotcha.
away at the time. I don't know. So
Right.
so I can't really say that I remember seeing her and her ascension. Um uh,
Okay. And that's
it
fair.
all
Gotcha.
feels
That's
it
fair.
all
That's
feels
that's
it
cool.
all feels it all feels kind of like some of it sounds orchestrated to me.
Okay.
Some of it does, and
Mm,
some of it sounds authentic. But I don't really care to be honest. She is um I feel like she's been put under some type of there's been some type she's under the microscope for sure.
For sure.
And I think that sometimes people come out too soon.
I got you.
Mm.
I think sometimes people blow up too soon, and maybe she wasn't ready for a lot of stuff that has happened.
Timing is
Okay.
important. Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
I
got you.
think I think she's talented,
Mhm.
and I'm glad that somebody has
Right.
risen, like somebody. But
Right.
the business uh is
Fickle.
very interesting. It's very
Absolutely.
interesting because it's not really about I think
You said it.
here's what I'll say. I think that people are resentful towards her in the industry. I think a lot of comedians have resentments against her because I think that they know what I know. They know that if there's one Tiffany Haddish, there's at least 300 other female comedians that can blow up the spot
Got you.
and that have really, really, really come through the weeds and have really paid their dues. And I think the people that have issue with Tiffany ain't really seen her pay her dues like that.
It's feeling
Yeah.
like she came up too quick because she had handlers. I got you. Now let's move to the
You
next.
said it.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
did
got you.
not.
I got you.
He
So
So,
said
I
it.
got
He
you.
said it. He said
but
But
it.
that
He
the,
doesn't
said it.
take away. Let me
her
just clear
talent
up.
and
No,
then
it
That
her
doesn't.
doesn't. It
accomplishment.
doesn't. It didn't.
Absolutely.
I didn't take it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't. I
But
didn't take it like that.
the other person, it really wasn't about the person. It's really about what she said and what she stood for. About Monique, about getting her worth as a female comic, and
Hmm.
also, trying to raise the bar of what they feel black women should receive as far as a special, because they kept on comparing some of the
Right.
white counterparts, per se, and now even some of the Asian counterparts of what they're being offered, and they're saying, what is your take on that?
On Monique in
On
general, or
the
just
stand,
her
not on Monique, on the stance of female comics receiving their
getting
worth
specials?
and getting specials and different things, and being the premiere through Netflix and other media outlets.
I respect her stance on that, and I've never been in that position to even be across the table and negotiate a special with Netflix, so I can't speak on that experience.
Hmm.
I do believe that there is some type of differentiation going on with
Mhm.
that.
For sure.
Um, but there are other platforms besides Netflix that's willing to pay a talented comedian. You don't have to you don't have to have a special for Netflix, in order to be successful. I mean, Hulu, they present Showtime, like HBO, like there's other platforms that you can go negotiate with. I think Netflix, because it's such a big machine
Right.
now,
Big brand. Yeah.
everybody, everybody, that's the first thought that comes across people's minds. But um, I just I feel like Monique doesn't really understand her own self-worth. I don't really think that she understands how important she is to the game. And I don't really think that she places enough value on her historic rise in the business. I don't think she's really placed enough value
Hmm.
on that. Because if she did, she wouldn't be still talking about Oprah and Tyler Perry.
Correct.
Leave them alone. They don't give a shit.
Correct.
They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about us. They don't care about us. They don't care about us at all. So leave them alone and go win. Go win, because you have all of the tools in order for you to win. You still have she got an Oscar.
Yes, she did.
She got an NAACP Image. She got a People's Choice. She got a Golden Globe. That's your currency.
Yeah.
Go pitch yourself. Go pitch yourself and create your own environment where people are, if this is what you really are advocating for, so that other women can have opportunities, so that other women can be safe and protected, and so other women won't be dogged out the way you were. Create that environment rather than bitching about it. Go create it. You have the cachet. You have the relationships. You have the, you know what I'm saying? So it's like somebody got $10 million at home, but you mad at somebody for taking your 1 million. It's like, bitch, you got focus over here. This is.
Yeah, I wonder that. I wonder about that. I was thinking too, like, you have all of these comedians that, do have, so like, why not pour back into and have us a Netflix? You know what I mean? They were saying it about the record labels. You got all these rappers with these millions of dollars. Why not have our own label? Why do you have to go to Arizona? Why do you have to go to these other places? Like,
what's
why
the truth?
Not pull it?
You know what, Jay? I'm gonna tell you. There's a streaming platform called The Brick. Black owned, Black operated, and shows Black entertainment. And it's called The Brick. And the guy's name is it escapes me right now, but I did meet the young brother. He's a young, fierce force of nature. I mean, brother just making things happen, killing the game. And that's the thing. We don't seek those people out. We don't seek those. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, go to someone who's trying to start, pour into them. Of course you got to vet them and make sure that that's legit and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like, there's ways for you to, if you really are trying to advocate for other young Black, then go do that instead of doing all of this. And you wasting all this time, wasted 10 years talking about the same two people.
Correct.
Yeah.
You can't even get that time back.
Yeah. So now, okay, you have all these different entertainment companies per se online. How do you feel about some of the comedians? Because there's I think a civil war of comedians happening. The guys who came up through stand-up and then got a shot and had cameos in a show, and then they have these young guys that, one of my favorites, Haha Davis. They're making these skits online, and they have these huge following, and now the old guard's like, you ain't anybody, and now they're going back and forth saying that, well, it took me 10 years to get here. And it's like, man, I'm making 10 million this month because I'm doing this, and not to say anyone's names, but it's a slew of these internet comedians, and the old guard is sitting there, and I'm like, why don't you work with them? You can mentor them, you could, have one, because before I make it too long of a question, because you told me.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the old guard hating on the new guard of entertainment, of how they getting into comedy their own way? How do you feel about it?
Well, first of all, that happened to me.
What do you mean?
It happened to me because I got into stand-up comedy around 1990, like 89, but like 1990-ish. And in 91 is when I got Def Jam.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So everybody's looking at me like, well, who is she fucking? Like, why?
Yeah.
But during that time, was that when Norm Nixon was it Norm Nixon? Is that his name? Yeah,
girl,
Norman
now
Nixon.
wait a minute.
That Debbie Allen husband. Hold on now. What part of the show is this? Oh, whoa. It's about to get different in here. Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Hold up, Jay.
Norm Nixon was my manager at the time.
Right.
Okay. Like, all right, I got questions.
Right. But is that how you got on to Def Comedy? Because I remember you said that they were kind of like at the same time. The Def Comedy and the Different World were forming. I think he's with Debbie Allen. No, okay. All right. So tell me that.
So Def Comedy Jam personally came to our club to vet and to audition us. So that's how I got on Def Comedy Jam. And so then I also auditioned for A Different World, and I got on there. I had a completely different agent around that time.
Okay.
And so, and then Norm Nixon came into the picture when they were negotiating my deal with A Different World. And he also wanted to, he was also into managing other comedians like myself and Joe Torre and Faison and Harry Spears. And so it was a roster of us that he was managing for a while. And so and I loved it because I was, it was everybody, I was putting money back into the family, if you will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so so that all worked out until it didn't. And then but Norm did not negotiate my Def Jam. That was all kind of organically.
Okay. I have a huge question now. Thank God.
The Norm Nixon, the basketball player. That's what I knew. You made me feel like I was crazy. Like,
no, the reason why I was like, when she explained that, everyone that you just said all were on TV on shows. Faison was on Parenthood. Joe Torre was on DL Hughley show, and you said somebody else.
Harry Spears.
Harry Spears was on Mad TV, and yourself was on Different World. So everyone that he had, he put on shows. Yo, did he want to bet? Yo, tell him, is he still in the business? I'll go tell a joke like a mother. Niggas is my man. I'm gonna get on somebody's show for a minute. Oh shit! I just listened to what you said.
Listen, the '90s was cracking.
Yeah,
and it was it was a really good time. And that's why I said earlier, there was a lot of opportunities for all of us back then. And it was up to us to take that to the next generation. And I feel so to piggyback on your question about the New Jacks, I don't have a problem with the New Jacks. Some of them are. There is this one lady that's online right now, and she does stand up, but she does a lot of skits. She does the old church lady, and I cannot think of her name right now, but she is I'm a big fan. I would love to work with her.
All right, we put it out here. I wish you knew her name. Yeah, I'm putting it out here.
She wears the white little. She looks like she is gonna be on the usher board this next.
Somebody usher board.
Got the great wig. I was like, this woman, she does this character so good that that
you're not talking about the old school Sister Cantaloupe. You ain't talking about that.
No.
Okay.
She said she's new.
Let me try to pull her up right now.
Okay.
Because
you're making me go look too.
She's amazing. And so there's another young man that I really am a huge fan of, and his name is Ryan Davis.
Yeah, Ryan. Concord, North Carolina, stand up. Right here above Charlotte. Yeah,
I am a huge fan. And I started paying attention to him in 2020 during the lockdown, right?
Yeah.
And
I like him too.
He is just, I really hope she comes up on my timeline, because this girl, I want to know her real name. And here's the thing about the church lady one. She is so convincing as the church lady that I look forward to seeing her skits come up. Her name is Christy something. Oh, please come up. What is her name? Oh, please come up. Is it?
You gonna figure it out. I'm on her looking, but I'm trying to figure out church lady comedian.
Damn good. No, that's not her. Anyway.
Okay. Now wait a minute. I know you're looking for it.
But this is what I said, and I do like Jess Hilarious.
Got you.
I do like her. And so, what's his name that just had a special out? What's his name?
Dave Chappelle.
Who?
Dave Chappelle?
No,
Kevin
no,
Hart?
he's an internet guy.
Desi? No, not Desi.
He's
I don't
re-
know.
he's handsome. He was on Shay Shay too. Um.
Internet.
Oh my God, I can't think of nobody's name right now, girl. That's what happens when you get my age.
Don't say that. Don't
That
say
was all
His
them
that.
name
long nights
is
of them weeds and alcohol kicking.
Girl. I'm
Right.
probably still high from all that my
Now,
90s.
okay, all right. Let's get some juicy stuff now because I got to talk about it. Because I look, I got like list like A section and B section because you answer all the professional questions. Now I
Okay.
want to know how in the world that you got out of the industry unscathed and not having like 20 kids, because I'm just being honest, you was one of the fun ones. You
Thank
know what I
you.
mean? Yeah. You want
Well,
like
I
you,
knew
Lisa Bonet. Yeah, y'all was on somebody's walls. You know what I
He
mean?
said
Like
Lisa Bonet.
yeah, you, Lisa Bonet. Like, how did you get like? Because you had to pick, and I know you out there because that's a man's, out there
yeah.
on the
No,
road.
I don't think I was very specific with my plan. I knew that I wasn't gonna have kids unless it was the right dude at the right time.
You wasn't
And
looking
in
for the come up.
and in my no, because
I'm just
because
nobody's
I
mad at you.
was raised by my father who told me to never ask a man for shit.
Okay,
And
amen.
so
Bars.
I never really saw me doing that. I like making my own money. I like making my own way, and I like having authority over my own life.
Right. Right. Right.
Don't and please don't mistake that. I have had plenty of opportunities to do that,
Mhm.
For sure.
and I just didn't. I was never interested in being that girl to be somebody's baby mama and be getting millions of dollars a week. I wasn't interested in doing that because I knew that
Right.
I knew I was talented enough to make my own way. And
Gotcha.
so that was that. And so then when I did want to have kids and do the whole marriage, it was wrong guy, right time, wrong guy.
Wrong guy.
Mhm.
So
Bars.
it was just that it was just that simple.
Okay, what did you enjoy about marriage?
I had a
Good
question about
question.
that. I had a question.
So I liked in the beginning, I really liked the idea of being married and being a really good wife. And I liked the consistency and being I liked being in love with my husband. I liked it, and I loved being this. I felt like we were living in Laguna Beach, and we had
Mm-hmm.
it just
Right.
all the optics of it I loved because people just was like because out here
It's
people
rare.
usually mix it up, you
Yeah.
know, and so it was nice to be a powerful Black couple, and he already
Right.
had kids and I loved them. He just
Gotcha.
turned out to be a narcissistic sociopath.
Oh damn.
Mm,
And so,
that'll get you.
those guys that are one way for a long time and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden they're true because we were together for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
so one day I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
this
this is
well,
how we doing it?
yeah, like
Yeah. No, Chris Rock said that. Chris Rock had a quote. He said, only married people understand that you could be miserable and happy at the same time.
Damn. Oh
woo."
shit.
Chris Rock quote.
I ain't,
If that ain't
I ain't agreeing to that on television
no.
or on the screen. I
And
ain't
then
gonna
my
agree to
first
that.
so
That's
Wifey gonna
something.
play that one back
Yeah,
though. But he
that's
did
something I
say
gotta
that. But for
we
some people, I
hit
mean,
that
it's
unrecord. Hell no, I
no,
ain't
no,
doing
no,
that.
no. I'm saying, but there is an ebb and flow in relationships or even in a marriage. You know what I'm saying? You have to be miserable, but it's an up and down, and what you can take and what you can't makes a difference. You
Miss
know.
Saunders, I need a chaperone. You can't have me out here in the street loose because I don't got no damn sense. So
See, I
I
was never so what I'm not that wife that checks your phone. I'm
no.
not that
No,
wife that's gonna check your
I ain't
pocket.
doing all that.
I'm
Mm-mm.
not going out of my because that's gonna make me miserable.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And I'm not going to stop uh being this woman just because I'm with somebody else. And I
got you.
think that he thought that I was supposed to like lose my identity in a way. No, what I did do was I did put show business on the back burner. I will tell you that.
Right.
I loved, cooking and waiting for him to get home. And I
You
loved,
cook.
yeah, stop.
I gotta ask you. You moved to LA early.
did.
Now I know she's Southern London, but she moved to LA early. Now
I had to feed myself. You know what I did? I'm gonna tell you how I
Mommy.
learned how to cook. I'm gonna tell you how I learned how to cook.
Hey,
I worked at a famous soul food restaurant in LA when I was
Roscoe's?
And you stole the recipes. No,
I didn't steal the recipes, but the old lady in the kitchen did teach me.
The one with the arm when you stare. Oh yeah, I got you.
No, this was Aunt Kizzy's back porch.
Oh wow, there we go.
Yeah, and so it was like worldwide known, and it was a big deal back in the 90s, right?
Oh, okay.
And
Do you bring the mac and cheese when you have family gatherings?
Do I what?
Do you bring the mac and cheese when you have family gatherings? You heard what I said.
No, they come to my place, and so I make the mac and cheese at the house.
Oh, bars!
Nah, no, come on,
yes.
you let me get away with that.
You gotta do it with
they coming and I make it. I ain't bringing it.
Yeah, I make everything, but I do everything vegan style now. So
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I do fish, but I had to go back to fish. I needed some protein. I needed more.
But let me go. Let's go back to that first.
Yes.
On the topic of marriage, though, like the first marriage, though, that only lasted like 9 months, and I'm gonna tell you why I did it. I did it because I was still comparing myself to my friends. I did it because he was a doctor, and I was looking for security, and I did it because I knew I was. This is gonna sound crazy, and I don't know if anyone's gonna, but this is the truth. I did it because I knew I wasn't gonna be there long, and I did it knowing that people were gonna find out that I was married. That's my truth. That's my truth.
Amen.
I knew that it wasn't my life, but
got you.
Some wonderful things came out of that experience.
That was my question. I was about to ask that. What was the most important lesson that you learned, during those times?
Well, the most important lesson that I learned was that to always be true to myself and always listen to my gut, because I knew it wasn't the right thing. I knew I really didn't like him, but I liked his stuff. And I liked the idea. I liked that he was a doctor, and I liked the status that brought. So that's the 100% truth.
That's real. That's real.
But the best experience. So the experience though was a blessing because he lived in Dallas, which is where I'm from, and I got a chance to revisit and really reconnect with my family members that I had not seen since I was a little girl. And so we got a chance to really connect and really express ourselves, and nothing was left unsaid because now they're all gone.
Yeah.
And that was the only time that I was ever, I can't think of any other time that I would have been able to have that much time on my hands to go down there and have that kind of relationship with them. So God always turn things into a blessing, even when making the wrong decisions or whatever. Absolutely. So that's what I'm grateful for, is the fact. And notice I didn't say anything bad about him.
That's good.
Because in relationships, we all have to look at ourselves, what my motive is, what it is what was my intention, you know what I mean? And what were my expectations? And so now I get to learn, okay, AJ, you don't get to, because that wasn't fair to him either. Even though he turned out to be whatever he was, it still wasn't fair to him. It wasn't fair to his kids. It wasn't fair, So I got a chance to make amends to myself in that and forgive myself for having that kind of motive. And so now, so the second one was when I was like, yep, I'm ready. This is it. I'm gonna be the best wife. It's gonna be some real black love going on up in here. This nigga just getting his ass.
Got over there. This nigga. This nigga.
Here's what I'll say about that.
That's gonna be the caption. That's the caption.
Here's what I'll say about that experience, though. He done made me a whole lot of money because I got a whole 20 minutes on that experience.
I love that, because that should change your thought process and how you write. You know what I mean? If you take all of that trauma, whatever it is, good or bad, and put it into how did that evolve you as an actress? How did that evolve you as a comedian? Did that have anything to do with what you write or what you stood on?
Everything. Everything. It has everything to do with. It has everything the way I carry myself. It has everything to do with the way that I. The biggest lesson that came out of that was, don't just hand over all your trust.
Gotcha.
Make
Okay.
them earn it.
All right. So that couple of things.
Bars.
That crazy bars for that one. All right. So
Wow.
now I'm
I
gonna pitch
love it.
I gotta pitch myself before we go into our rapid fire questions. All right.
Yes.
Now, when y'all do the reboot of Different World, I think you should like be the professor and I'll be like the husband. And I could be like the janitor on the end, and then I get, you know what I mean. I always told my wife, I told my wife, you know, I'm 100% faithful, but I might get a role, and I got to get next to some of the people that.
Listen, you just gotta have
it look real, dude.
So your wife, so you don't get a pass with like at least 1 or 2 people.
I wish, but like I think you wasn't killing it.
Now, does she get a pass? Now you get a pass. You gotta get a pass.
Okay, then that's right.
She might go to the other side, and be like, it's nice over here now.
Miss AJ Bars.
Come back. No, I need you back.
Like, this grass is real green over
here.
Nah, we gotta edit all this shit.
You'll be like, baby, please.
Yeah, that's not what I want. I'll be over there saying that, just like, I want my family back. You know how they do when you do wrong. I want my family back. Like
now it's all about the kids after that.
About the kids. Now, so if they pitch that, you know, I had a silent quiet type. I could be right there. Yeah, baby.
To be honest,
that would be my role. Yeah, come on.
Let me tell you about. So
they're gonna reboot it. Y'all got to.
I think they're really trying, but I would be surprised if they asked me to be a part of it.
They are. Look at you. No, listen,
what do you mean?
No, we're not gonna disrespect anybody, but you listen.
No.
You agent.
You were just on the red table talk with them all when
you are agent in the 1 percentile, ma'am. The other ones, it ain't enough makeup now.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do. And to Jada's credit, she was the one that requested that I come on Red Table Talk.
Oh.
Okay.
Right now.
They were surprised. They were shocked that I was invited.
Wow.
Really? Was it because did she know that you had an issue with her back then on the Different World? Like when she first came on, I saw some interview and you said that like I had a little something because I was there and then she came along. Do you think that's what
you so nosy? You so nosy.
I just asked.
You know we be reading.
You don't have to answer it. You don't have to. I'm a reader and a writer.
So everybody had an issue with Jada when she came on because Debbie she didn't have to audition. She just liked her and just said, I'm putting you on and you're going to be a regular. It's just like it's just like a mom bringing a new kid to the house and said, okay, y'all, that's your brother and sister, no explanation. So y'all get along. And we're like, what the hell? Who is this? You know? So it's kind of like that. But in my particular situation, it really wasn't so much about Jada. It was more about
how it was done.
It was about the positioning because I came in and I was the under fiver, and then I became the recurring, and then they made me a regular. And so I was kind of thinking, ooh, well, now mind you, I'm in my 20s. I'm very young. This is brand new to me. And so I'm like, well, they're going to really show me some love this year. And then all of a sudden she gets all the love. And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then they go on Arsenio Hall. I don't get invited. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still not in with the cool kids.
Got you.
You see? And so that was where my young 22-year-old self was very jealous and resentful because, well, why not me?
Right.
You know what I mean? I've earned my spot. So all that being said, I was still wise enough to keep my job.
That's smart. Don't mess the money up.
No, you know what?
They mess up
one line, one word, one paragraph, whatever. My check ain't gonna change as long as I just do my part. And so that's all I had just resigned to that. Let me just do what they asked me to do and let me, go the fuck home.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the way I kind of worked it. I was like, well, they clearly this is how it is.
Yeah.
And so let me just go do. And so I was so busy doing stand up on the weekends anyway. Once we finished like filming during the week, I was off doing stand up somewhere in another city. So I really didn't have too much time to sort of like brood over that. But it was a trip. Like, I mean, I think any human would feel kind of, they feel a certain type of way if somebody just all of a sudden pop up and become, you know, a star unexpectedly, and and we've been working on this, and so a lot of the other established actors were a little bit surprised by it too.
Understandable.
And so because we all would chat with
Right.
each other and be like, well, who the fuck is this, and who's she, and how the fuck, and what?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we're all,
I got you.
so but I wasn't really anyone's favorite. So
No.
when people
No, this
say
is
to me, when people say, "Oh, I had a crush on you back then,"
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know.
I was trying to reach you.
But not only that,
I
the
wrote
scenes
the
that you
show.
were in,
Trying to reach
that's what I'm saying. It ain't got to be favorite because sometimes it's about the impact. And
You
the
had some
scenes that
big
you were
shows.
in, I'm serious. What
Meaningful
I
shows.
remember
Yes.
is the scenes that you were in held a lot of weight. To me, that made you memorable. Whether you were the star or not, I remember the domestic violence. I remember the court scene where Jennifer's up there on the thing and she's saying this or whatever.
What about the
Billy
line?
D.
What the line?
Williams was your, wait a minute, Billy D.
Ace
Williams was your
King Jack.
daddy.
You hit the line. I love that line. Yeah,
It's like that, and sometimes it's the impact because you can have a whole long show and you're just part of it. But did you touch my soul?
Chris Rock and
Did
Boomerang.
your writing and your acting? Did I feel that?
Mhm.
Did we connect? And I don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm talking about when it comes to acting and powerful. And when you're connecting with people you don't know from a screen, I don't care if it was 5 shows. We had Michael Ralph on here. You know what I mean? And he was on, I love Michael Ralph. And he was on the show too, but you know what? He didn't have all the long scenes, but you remember who Michael Ralph is.
Island Man.
Yeah, so that's why I'm looking at it when I'm looking at something. So please don't count yourself out there because we're telling you not just to soup you up, but I'm telling you just from how it affected me. And I was young. You know what I mean? I love that.
No, if they called me, I would definitely be down.
It could be a package deal.
Sure.
You call me up. I'll be there too.
And let me just say this. Like this is my 50-year-old self talking about my 20-year-old self. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel anything but love towards all of them.
Bars.
And so I just saw Daryl Bell at a party a couple weeks ago. You know what I mean?
Bell. Yeah.
And so like if I see Dawn all the time, and so it's nothing but love. And everybody handles situations based on their emotional maturity at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
So I give everybody grace.
Sure.
And Michael Ralph,
yeah,
he is
cool.
such a good man. He is
Yeah.
such a good dude.
He
And
is.
so I just, man, I miss us hanging out and talking and laughing. Man, we had some fun.
He's
Me,
funny.
him, and
He's
Tyrone.
funny.
Tyrone was another stand-in. And we had a lot of so even though there were some awkward moments, there were even more memorable fun times.
Yeah, bars.
Yeah.
Now that makes my heart feel good. Yeah,
I treasure everything because it was, and I think it was, and I always say A Different World was the best thing to ever happen to me. And it was also the worst. And it was the worst because it spoiled me. So when I went on other shows and they didn't have the kind of food that we was eating, they didn't have the kind of camaraderie.
Wait a minute, Martin wasn't like that when you went on there, Martin. We had the baby.
Martin. So I was already friends with Martin, with all of them.
Yeah, definitely.
I was already friends with all of them.
Absolutely.
So it was like Martin was a whole nother vibe. It was like being at a block party, and it was let me just say this way.
Fun.
So the other shows that I was on, it wasn't the same energy. Like Debbie always gave it was always like a
family.
Like, yeah, it was like really cool environment. Like we ate good food and we danced, music was playing, and we had all the same extras. So everybody knew each other. So come Wednesday, we all be like, hey girl, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? You know, that was that. So that's the thing that spoiled me. But when I worked on Martin, And you have to remember, like, I'm a comedian, Martin's a comedian, and we saw each other come up, and we have Robin Harris as our connection as historically, right? And so watching him set a goal for himself and say, I'm going to have a top rated television show. I'm going to be the star of my own television show.
He had one before Martin. What's happening now? Remember?
Huh?
Remember Martin Lawrence? He was in What's Happening Now. Remember, he was the star.
What's Happening Now?
Yeah.
Can I tell y'all something?
Yo, tell me. Go ahead.
What?
This is it.
He was my boyfriend for a little bit.
You heard it, Bars. You heard it. You heard it. Yes, Marty Mars.
Now you tell me something. Listen now, the timeline, because I know who you're talking to.
So let me tell you another thing. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Yeah, and I've never told anybody that, and I never told anybody what I'm about to tell you.
Oh, you heard it on KROSS BARZ. Let's go.
Listen to this. So my father, he's kind of one of those. He was a big fan of James Brown.
Okay.
And so my father, I would say, really loved that era.
Okay.
To the point that he didn't really change.
Yeah, 60s, 70s music. I got you.
So Jerome is my daddy.
No way.
No
way.
No
way.
Martin was at my house. When I was living with my father at the time, and my father had come and my father had met him and stuff. And so so Martin just kind of, because I remember Tisha called me, she was like, hey, I was like, what? She was like, girl, you gotta come to this taping this week. I was like, why? She was like, the girl Martin is doing your daddy. I was like, what?
No, I love it.
But it's more exaggerated.
Yeah,
for sure. That. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my daddy had it. Oh, hey, girl.
Listen, I thought he got it from my neighborhood cat named Junior.
I love it. Every neighborhood got a Jerome now. We all got a Jerome. Every family got a Jerome.
Bars.
That's awesome.
He took my daddy and just turned him into,
oh my God.
That was my dad.
I love it.
Okay, all right.
That's new funny.
Wait a minute. I was about to. I know, because she just said something. She just said something.
Go ahead.
So if you said Jerome your daddy, so how did Wanda? You got a family member that's Wanda for Jamie?
No, you're so stupid. Oh my God.
You just said Wanda was like you got his race, like you got anybody in his Wanda. Talk to me.
So one night, me, Jamie, and Speedy, and I think another comedian, I think his name was Eric Felder, I can't remember. Anyway, we was all hanging. We all hang out after the club or whatever. And we went back to Jamie's house, and we were literally standing in the kitchen. And we was just it was just nonstop. Everybody throwing jokes around and stuff. And so, and I said, what did I said, no, but for real though. And so he's like, nigga, remember that shit? That's what we used to do. That's a Dallas thing. No, but for real though. And so I said something, he said something, I said, no, but for real though. And then we started just going back and forth. Doing that female that we all knew in the neighborhood that was just loud and ratchet, and she thought she was cute, but she really wasn't. Right. And it was like, and what? Okay then, whatever. And so that's how it all. I didn't know that he was gonna make her ugly though. That was the one thing. I was like, I didn't know he was gonna get ugly.
He played it.
He looked worse than Tanae.
Right.
Okay. He looked worse than Tanae.
And this was during the time that Jamie was really, really searching to become relevant on In Living Color because he was a new kid on the block and he wasn't a Wayans, and so he wanted to develop some type of skit that was going to be memorable. And so when he developed that just put him on the map.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we have this thing, right? Called This or That. All right. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, right? You can say one thing or the next. You can say both or neither. So I get pride when you got to say both. you know, where you can't pick, you gotta say both. You know, I get pride out of that. But I want you to pick one, and they're gonna be hard. So I'm gonna give you something like real easy layup. All right. Dallas Cowboys or Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh, Dallas Cowboys.
See? Easy.
Yeah, because we hated the Steelers back in the day.
Easy one. All right, let's get some hard ones. Richard Pryor.
Okay, wait. But I did like Franco Harris, though.
Okay, all right. I'm a Steelers fan. Okay, thank you. She like the person, not the team.
I like that. She likes everybody from Jersey. Mount Holly, New Jersey. Franco Harris, stand up. You know what I mean? Like, man, okay, I got a chance. All right, so let's go with let's do this one because I wanted to ask you this one. Robin Harris or Richard Pryor?
Don't do that.
Uh-oh.
You can say both.
Because you can't have one without the other.
You can say both.
I gotta say both.
That's what I do.
That was unfair.
All right. Let's see. Let's go.
That was unfair, though. I ain't
okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what you do with this one.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal or Akeem Olajuwon? Texas people.
Are you speaking sexually or?
Oh God!
No, I'm kidding.
What? Yo, this became a whole
because Akeem has Olajuwon.
Okay, I'm gonna pause. I'm not going there. Olajuwon? I've never heard that one, but that's nice.
Just being stupid at this point.
That's funny.
So you saying Shaquille O'Neal or Akeem? I'm gonna go with Akeem.
Akeem, okay.
Only because he was more agile.
I'm not gonna get that out of my head now.
Okay, yeah. All right, okay. Denzel or Samuel L. Jackson?
Come on now. Denzel all day, every day, and twice on Sundays.
Okay. Oh,
all right. Okay.
Look. Give someone Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Apple Jacks.
Neither.
Right.
No.
Apple Jacks.
Okay.
Apple Jacks is for little babies.
Okay. All right.
Like
all right. We're gonna do that. Okay. Bacon or sausage?
Have you ever seen my act? Sausage, of course.
Just
Akeem Olajuwon.
Okay, all right. Okay, let's look a little harder.
Y'all bringing the stupid out of me.
Beyonce.
That's good. That's natural.
Yeah, Beyonce or Alicia Keys.
Ugh.
You ain't going for Texas?
I mean, I'm gonna go for Texas.
Okay. Ooh.
We didn't take
shade.
No, it's not shade. It's not shade.
No,
it's not shade. It's not shade. I do love the Lemonade video album. I do love that. And I did see the On the Run tour, and she was fantastic.
I went to that one too. Yeah. Great. Okay.
Great. Moving on.
Look. Go a little easier one. LeBron or Jordan?
He ain't right.
MJ, brother. MJ.
Just getting all types of questions.
All right. Now, that is her decision. He be trying to make people pick who he likes.
Look, I'm gonna now. I'm gonna give another one. Yeah, throw one in there. All right. Saturday SNL or In Living Color?
In Living Color.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Living Single or Martin?
Martin.
All right. The Cosby Show or oh my God, I just read. Oh, it was Steinfeld.
Or what?
Steinfeld.
Steinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Yes, Steinfeld.
Oh, Cosby's all day.
All right. Now we're going some hood stuff. All right.
Okay.
Look, Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society?
Oh.
Yeah. That's an easy one. I gave you some easy one.
Boys in the Hood, always hard.
Hey.
Okay. All right.
Rest in peace, John Singleton.
Okay.
Yes,
Look.
indeed.
Because I know the age range. Houdini or Run DMC.
Mm.
Houdini.
Okay. All right.
Ooh,
Salt and
yeah.
Pepper or Queen Latifah.
Salt and pepper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see how you had your hairstyle like that.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
was
I
you
know.
was Salt
Okay.
in the Tupac. She's
No.
she's with Salt in the Tupac video with playing the
Yeah.
Pope with Tupac.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
You
Okay.
too nosy.
Yeah. Look.
You
Watch this one.
you just
Watch
know
this
way
one.
too
Called
much.
journalism.
Okay. Watch this one. Look. I always say the harder ones, right? So I got the last three: Chris Rock or Dave Chappelle.
Chris Rock.
Okay. All right. Paul Mooney or
Oh,
Corey Holcomb.
Paul Mooney.
Okay. I'm both of them shocked. Both of them put some stuff out there. That's all. No disrespect.
Paul Mooney.
Okay.
Though.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle Obama or Oprah Winfrey.
Neither.
Ooh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Hey. All right.
All righty then. Well, moving on that. Well, Miss, we not asking no questions
No,
on that.
ma'am.
We're just gonna move right along. So, Miss AJ, what can we find you doing? What you got coming up? Where can people find you doing something? Got anything new going on?
So I'm gonna be in Detroit August 1st at One Mic. One Mic is the club that Mike Epps owns.
Okay.
So I'll be there August 1st. And then you know what's I've been traveling all over the globe. So I'm gonna be sailing from the rest of August. After I get back from Detroit, I'm gonna be sailing, I'm going to Europe, and I'm going to like Greenland.
You want to see the sky? What's that called? The green sky? The sky changing? What's that called?
What, Aurora Borealis?
The Ozark, not the Ozark. The Iran.
The North.
No, when the sky changed colors up there towards the North Pole. Oh my God.
Yeah, the Northern Lights.
The Northern Lights, I guess so, but it's starts with an A.
It starts something else over there. I said Aurora Borealis, but
yeah, that's what the one. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
What is
Aurora
it called?
Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Okay.
Yeah. So you be up there by Greenland. Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm working on doing the special.
Okay.
So so that's in the works. And just stay tuned because people have been really bugging me about getting back on television. So we'll see when I have these meetings coming up, but in the meantime I'm just
I'm here for you.
I'm getting okay. Appreciate you.
I'm here for you.
Appreciate you.
Right.
I'm just, and I'm just doing stand-up. I'm doing stand-up on cruise ships, and a lot of people think that cruise ships is easy, but we do 5 to 10 shows each cruise, and
is that per day?
A lot, and you have it can be per day. It depends on what the schedule is, but you're required to have at least 5 different comedy sets.
Wow.
So it's a lot of work, and that's why I know right now I'm special ready because of how much work I'm doing on these ships.
Right.
And but that's all I got that I can say right now. Okay. But it's going to be more than just a special. I'll put it to you that way.
Got you.
That we're working on.
Let me know when you're in Charlotte. Yeah, I'm here.
Well, here's the thing. I did meet a lady on the last ship, and she lives in Raleigh.
Okay, that's 2 hours away. Okay.
And she's trying to get me at Good Nights.
Okay.
So that might be the closest to Charlotte that I'll get to sometime this year. Because I'm definitely I've worked at Charlie Good Nights before. I know they just have a different owner and stuff. So I'll be probably doing that probably around the holiday season. Okay. So yeah, look for me there. But that's really pretty much all I've been doing. I'm doing lots of cruises. I'm doing road gigs in between, and in the meantime, when I'm not doing that, I am living and loving my life.
I love it. I love it.
Okay.
I appreciate it. All right, then. Well, thank you so much. We are Cross Bars, and it's Big O, S J Tanae. You can find us on TikTok. You can find us on Twitter, not Twitter, X, excuse me, Facebook, all the streaming medias, all the platforms. You can also contact us at crossbars.com. You can go to our website, www.crossbars.com. That's KROSSBARZ. Cross Bars, y'all. We're going to take it out
And
tonight.
so
Thank you
you
again so much.
I'm stand-up girl on Instagram in case anybody cares.
Yes, yes. Stand up girl, and it's GURL girl, not GIRL. I got you. All righty then.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. We love you. We love you. Hopefully you'll be somewhere soon. We'll come and see you.
Okay.
All right then.
Okay,
hold
wait
on
a
just
minute.
a second. Peace.
Peace.